Okay, today we are going to discuss about services. And what are the services? Why we need services in Angular? How to create the services and how to utilize those services in components. Okay, today we are going to discuss about normal services classes. See, here the services, it's like it is used to share the common data across entire the application. Like whatever the server side data we are having, that particular data we need to subscribe it and we need to display it in the client side. The same service data we need to pass it for entire the application, like within our Angular 12 application. So each and every module and component we can able to access the same data. So we can call it as a single instance of the service. We will create it inside the providers array here. So we are using a providers array in the module.ts file to include the services, like to inject the service as a dependency inside the providers array. Will declare it and we can able to access the same instance of the service in all the components. Now wherever we required, simply we can import that particular service and we can access the data. See, like this way: user ID, username, location. Okay. Here we have provided one mock data we have created, this one, but instead of this hard coded data, we need to fetch this information from the server side by using a services. So we need to create one service and we need to get the data from the service and we need to access it. Okay, so now I will create one service. First I will create one service folder inside the examples, services. How to generate a service? That is nothing but by using ng generate service name. So we will use a service data is what we are having here, user ID. Okay, I will create one user service. So when we are generating one service, it will create two files, spec.ts file and service.ts file. See, services folder we are having a two files, spec.ts file and users.service.ts file. See, it will be creating here. This is the service structure. Import injectable. See, for a component, we are using a @component. How to identify which is the component? By using a @component decorator to identify this is the component. And for a module, we will use @ng module. Then Angular, it will identify this is a Angular module. In the same way, how to identify this is the service, that is nothing but by using injectable of decorator. So by using this injectable decorator, Angular will identify this is the service we are using. And here, so from Angular 8 onwards, when we are generating any service, so automatically it will create one root provider. It will create. It means provided in root. It's like it is the root level service. See, inside the providers array also we can declare that one. That is the one way. And in the service level also automatically it will create provided in root. It means it is also, it will act as a root level service. We don't need to include in the module.ts file. అంటే మనకు 2 లెవెల్స్ లో ఇంక్లూడ్ చేయొచ్చు సర్వీస్ ని. ఎక్కడ ఒకటి ప్రొవైడర్స్ అరే inside the ng module section of app.module.ts file. This is the one place. And one more place is inside service.ts file లో injectable decorator inside ఇది డిక్లేర్ చేయాలి. Provided in root. It will act as a root level service. Okay. So this is the service structure. Entire thing is common for component, directive, pipes, everything. Export, class name. Okay. Only here it will change injectable, it will be changing here. So it will notate that this is the service. Then now how to create one method inside the service. I will create get I will use a get users of. I will use return, and here we are having a object. See, we are having a array of table data we are having. I will copy this one. I will declare this. Okay. We are having a service. This is the common service how we will create one method inside the service. So I have created one get users method and return array of objects it is containing. Okay. Now what I want to do is this get users method I want to access in my parent component. See, this is the parent component. Here we have hard coded this one. Instead of this one, I should access the service data. So from the service, ఈ యూజర్ సర్వీస్ నుంచి నేను ఆ డేటాని యాక్సెస్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఈ కాంపోనెంట్ లో ఉన్న డేటాని యాక్సెస్ చేస్తే ఏమవుతుందంటే ఇట్ విల్ బి అప్లికేబుల్ ఓన్లీ ఫర్ పేరెంట్ కాంపోనెంట్ డాట్ టీఎస్ ఫైల్. అదే నాకు ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ యాప్ కాంపోనెంట్ లో కావాలి, డేటా బైండింగ్ కాంపోనెంట్ లో నాకు సేమ్ సర్వీస్ డేటా ఇఫ్ ఐ వాంట్ టు యూటిలైజ్ ఇట్, ఈ సర్వీస్ ని we need to declare this service in the service.ts file, one method. That particular method, wherever we required, we can able to access it. ఇది first level. First we need to create it, and then copy this service, and we need to import this particular service. ఓకే, మీకు ఇనిషియల్గా రెస్పెక్టివ్ ఆ సర్వీస్ పాత్ అనేది మీకు ఐడెంటిఫై చేయడము రాదనుకోండి. సో ఇనిషియలీ యు ఆర్ నాట్ అవేర్ ఆఫ్ హౌ టు ఇంపోర్ట్ దట్ service from that respective path. Those time, see, you can mention private one local name, users service, any name, meaningful name, you can mention it out. User service, copy there. Control space, auto import it will provide. Click on enter. From that particular path it is going to auto import, it will provide. What we need to use inside the constructor section, private, user service, local name and service name. This particular service name we need to provide it here. This is the dependency injection, you can call it as. So we are providing a class instantiation inside the constructor section. So we are having a constructor, we are providing a class instantiation inside the constructor section for a services. This dot, see, now we can able to user service dot get users. Okay. I will hide that one and I will update this thing. The parent component.ts file. See, inside the constructor method we are using user service, service name. See, 25 we are having in the line number. We are getting the this dot user service dot get users. What we have declared in here. See, the console, in the constructor as a class instantiation we have provided here. This dot user service dot get users of. Get users method is this one. So when I am accessing this get users method, I am getting the data and okay, this is fine. So now see, this is the hard coded one, this one. So I will comment this thing. I will create one table data equal to an array, empty array, it will be there initially. So now what I want to use is, so for this table data variable, I want to assign this user service data. So that now we need to create one method get users of first ఒక get users అనే మెథడ్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకోండి. సో హియర్ వాట్ we have created user service. We have provided a class instantiation we have provided. Okay, if we are not providing this instance of the service, we can't access the service method. Okay, వేరే సర్వీస్ కావచ్చు, వేరే కాంపోనెంట్ కావచ్చు, ఎనీ సర్వీస్ మెథడ్స్ వితౌట్ invoking the service inside the constructor method as a class instantiation. For the service methods, we can't able to access it in component. So we need to create one class instantiation, we need to create it, and then we can able to access it. So I have created one get users method. Here I will use this dot user service dot get users of. So now I'm getting the data. Here we should use, I need to assign that value to one variable, this dot, what we are having table data variable, and equal to. See, get users table data, we are having one variable. For that particular variable, we are assigning some response to the table data, and in HTML we are iterating the same table data. This is the child data. Yeah, for this table data variable, we are passing the table data so that it will pass the data from okay. Yeah, see here, simply I have created this method, but I have not invoked this service. ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఫంక్షన్ రాస్తాము, ఫంక్షన్ని మనము కాల్ చేస్తేనే కదా అది ఇన్వోక్ అయ్యేది. ఒక సర్వీస్ కాల్, సర్వీస్ కావచ్చు, ఒక ఫంక్షన్ కావచ్చు, ఏదైనా కానీ క్రియేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత దాన్ని యాక్సెస్ అంటే when we are invoking that particular method, then only we will get the data. So service calls we need to provide inside the ng on init section. See this dot get users of. It means when Angular is initialized all the components properly, immediately on init section gets execute, and this service get user service will invoke, and we will get the response, and it will assign to the table data, and here we are passing the table data to the child component. See, from the child component getting the data and displaying it here in the child component. This is the service, normal service. Okay, this is also a hard-coded service. This is not the real service. This is only service structure. It will be look like this, and we are having one get users method. Inside that we are having a array of objects, mock data we are having. We are sending that to the other component. We are subscribing and we are iterating that data. And now coming to the picture is how to communicate from the client side to the server side. Means I need to send one get request to the server side and post request to the server side. I need to fetch some data from the server side, and also I need to send some data from client side to the server side as well. So those time we should use HTTP client module along with the observables. We can use the services in Angular. We can communicate with the RESTful service endpoints. See, now we are having a app module. In the app module, we need to declare the HTTP client module. So in Angular, services will work on only HTTP module, like whatever it may be. So only those related modules are mandatorily to import in declare it in the import section. See forms module. If we are not included this forms module, ng model directive it won't work. And in the same way, we should use HTTP client module because services will work on this HTTP client module. This session is not coming. So we should import the HTTP. So we should use HTTP client module. We need to declare it. Communicating with the backend services using HTTP. See, like this way. See, import HTTP client module from Angular common HTTP. See, in the import section, in the imports array, we need to declare this HTTP client module. We paste it here. That's it. Yeah. So now inside the service, we can utilize HTTP client. సర్వీస్ లెవెల్లో మనము క్లయింట్ మాడ్యూల్ ఇంపోర్ట్ చేయాలి అంటే సర్వీస్ అనేది డిపెండ్స్ ఆన్ HTTP client module. So all the dependent services will be included here. So here we can use private HTTP colon HTTP client. See, module level లో we have provided HTTP client module. In service.ts file, we should use HTTP client. సో ఇప్పుడు మనము what are the HTTP methods available to communicate to the backend services? We are having a get method, put method, post method, and delete method. These are the CRUD operations, means create, read, update, and delete. This is the common method. So now I will create and get employee list. Here, as a return type for the main service, we should use observable. For a asynchronous operation in Angular, we are using a um, so observable. So as a return type, we need to declare the observable, and then we can able to access that particular observable one. When we are declaring as a return type of that observable, so that it will emit the data, multiple data it will emit over a period of time. See, any one particular method call on. So here we should provide observable of, here we need to declare type of that particular value, we need to provide it. This is we can call it as a typecasting, this one within the open and closing brackets. When we are providing, that is the typecasting. Here something I'm missing. Here we should use return. See, this dot. See, I'm getting the suggestion here because HTTP I have provided local name. Suppose if I am not declaring this one, suppose if we are trying to access HTTP client, HTTP client dot, see what are the properties it is getting. We are not getting get, put, post, delete methods. We are not getting. So to access the HTTP client service methods, we should create one dependency injection, like class instantiation for the services inside the constructor section. See, so this dot HTTP dot, see we are getting get method, head, JSONP, options, patch, post, put, request, delete methods. Suppose I will provide HTTP client dot get off. Here I want to send one URL. I will create one request URL. Here we should provide this dot request URL dot pipe off. So here we are having a other RxJS operators as well. So as of now, it's enough for use. See, first we need to create one method as a return type of observable, and inside the method we should return. So if I am not using this return keyword, see, it throws the error. Okay, a function whose, see, function whose declare type is neither void or any must return a value. See, it is providing a it requires return type. Okay, this is the one particular method. Here we need request URL. We should provide endpoint URL for the service to communicate from the client side to the server side. So we require one endpoint URL. Okay. So this URL we need to provide it. E URL backend service URL. Java కావచ్చు, .NET, Python, Node.js, PHP, anything. బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ ఏదైనా అయిండొచ్చు. దట్ పర్టికులర్ యుఆర్ఎల్ అనేది ఇక్కడ ప్రొవైడ్ చేయాలి మనం. సో ఇన్ ద బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ పీపుల్ దే విల్ ప్రొవైడ్ వన్ ఎండ్ పాయింట్ యుఆర్ఎల్ ఫర్ క్లయింట్ సైడ్. దట్ పర్టికులర్ యుఆర్ఎల్ we need to declare here, and that URL we need to access it. Means by using http client dot get of URL we will provide it, and we will request to the service and we will get the data. Okay, so now in the client side we are having a one method. It will act as a one db.json inside the client local device. That is nothing but JSON server. JSON server Angular. See here, first what we need to use, npm install JSON-server. Go to the project folder, and here we should provide npm install JSON-server. It means it will act as a local db.json file. It will create, and it will act as a local database. Okay, it is created. So this is the first one, install npm install JSON-server. So after that we are having other commands as well. So that is nothing but, see, we create one db.json file, and then we need to start this one JSON-server what db.json file. Copy, and one more thing, this server should be in the running as soon as you are working on. Okay, See, here I will create that server should be in the up. JSON icon server. Okay, this is not created properly. npm install -g JSON server. See, you can check it in your application. db.json file. See, displaying right here. Here we are declaring one db.json file, and it is, see, it is in the JSON format. See, in the object, how the object it will look like, name, the value in the string format. But in the JSON format, everything will be in the string. See, okay. Remember this thing. This when we are accessing the db.json file, this server should be in the up only. Okay. The command is, once we are installing the JSON server, JSON-server-watch db.json. Enter this command. It will up the db.json file, and automatically it will update in the Angular application. See, we are having one db.json file. It is created this one. Here we can manipulate the things. This is not required for us. According to our requirement, which one is required, those values we can store it inside the db.json file. So here we are having a, see, and, direct db.json file we can provide inside the student list. This is okay. See, okay. We are having a employee list or any student list. I will create it. Go to the db.json file. So here we need to provide one key and value. The key name is employee list. I will provide. Employee list column It is an array of values. JSON parser. Solution 32. So we can directly convert it. See, all the keys we need to declare in the string like this way. Angular 6 Venkat. So directly we can convert it in a string and we can declare and utilize those things. Ngx, ngif, and okay. Required select trigger services we are having. Okay. Route optional online fake REST API. See. npm install -g json server json server watch db.json file. Okay, so we need to create one. See, all the key should be in the string and value. If it is a number, then only it should be in the number, otherwise everything should be in the string format only, because this is the string json string array of objects it is containing. See, okay, see, this is the json format. We are having a db.json file. Inside the db.json file we are having a employees. Okay, now it is containing a array of objects. See, array of json objects it is containing in the json format it is there. So now what we need to do is just assume that this is our db.json file, like from the database, real database like MySQL, SQL or any MongoDB, the same set of data will be stored in the database. This respective data we need to retrieve from the service. See, that is nothing but see, in the service.ts file where we are having return this dot http dot get of, see, request URL. Here we need to declare that request URL. So this port is running on http colon localhost colon 3000 slash the db.json, which is the name we are providing, employees. Employees we need to provide it. See, return this dot http client dot get of. This particular service we need to utilize it in other component and then we need to access it. So already we are having a user service and inside the ng on it I will access. In the console I will print this dot user service dot, see, get employee list dot, because we are using a service we need to subscribe it, employee list of dot subscribe. Console.log I will provide response. Now see, the console.log of response line number 33. See what we are having: contact, preference, date of birth, department, email, gender, ID, whether is active or not, name. it is containing a 3 objects we are having. The db.json file, see, ID, name, gender, contact preference, email, date of birth, department, active. See, 3 objects it is having. The same we are getting here. The response. This is the real service. Just assume that this is the your real database from the client side. In the server side, it will be there. So we need to invoke this particular server and we need to fetch the data. See, in the same way, this is the request URL. In the real time also, we will get one endpoint URL like this way. This URL, we are getting it from the backend people. We are assigning to one variable and we will create one service method by using get employee list of as a return type of observable. And here inside one method we'll use this dot http dot get of. This is because this is a get method. Whatever the data it is there, we are fetching that data. Get of request URL. This dot request URL means this one. So it will hit to that particular service, we will get the data. This is the service level, we need to declare it. And in the component level, we need to import that service and declare it in the constructor section. And then we need to access it. So inside the ng-on-it section, user service dot get employee list means this employee list of dot subscribe, because we are using a observable. So until we are doing dot subscribe, service call will never happen. So once we are subscribing, you will get the response. On that response, I am consoling it. I am getting that response here. So now you can able to assign this response to one variable, and in the HTML you can iterate it in the table format, or else you can pass that data to the other component as well. So in this way we will use a service, we will get the data, and in the component level we will subscribe it and we are utilizing. Understand అయిందా?
ఎస్ అన్న.
ఓకే. సో ఇక్కడ మీరు ఫస్ట్ సర్వీస్ లెవెల్లో ఒక సర్వీస్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకోండి. ఓకే, ఆల్రెడీ మీకు ఇందులో సర్వీసెస్ ఎలా యూజ్ చేయాలి అవన్నీ చూడండి, ఇందులో ఉన్నాయి. మీకు యాంగులర్ 2 ఆల్రెడీ బ్లాగ్ ఇది ఉంది కదా, ఇక్కడ గో టు ద సర్వీస్ ట్యుటోరియల్, సర్వీసెస్ ఎలా రాస్తారు, ఓకే, బేసిక్ అది చూసుకోండి. తర్వాత మీకు 1 by 1 అండర్స్టాండ్ అవుతుంది. ఇది నార్మల్ సర్వీస్. మాకప్. సో ఫస్ట్ నేను ఒక హార్డ్ కోడెడ్ డేటా క్రియేట్ చేశాను కదా, అలానే క్రియేట్ చేయండి. ఇక్కడ ఐ ఎంప్లాయీ అంటే ఒక ఇంటర్ఫేస్ కూడా క్రియేట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు మీరు. సేమ్ సెట్ ఆఫ్ వాల్యూ అండ్ డేటా టైప్స్ ఇట్ విల్ యాక్సెప్ట్. సో ఐ ఎంప్లాయీ ఆఫ్ ఎన్ అరే ఒక ఇంటర్ఫేస్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకొని మనం ప్రొవైడ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు అక్కడ. సో ఈ కాంపోనెంట్ లెవెల్లో 1 by 1 ఎలా యూజ్ చేశారు, యూటిలైజ్ చేశారు అనేది ఇక్కడ. పేరెంట్ టు చైల్డ్ కాంపోనెంట్ ఇంటరాక్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, అవన్నీ మీరు 1 by 1 చేస్తే ఈ కాంపోనెంట్కి వస్తారు. సర్వీస్ యూజ్ చేసి గెట్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ అసైన్ చేయొచ్చు. ఇక్కడ ఇటరేట్ చేయండి, డిస్ప్లే చేయండి, డేటాని అండర్స్టాండ్ అవుతుంది. Here we are having one table data. And this is the JSON server. ఎలా యూటిలైజ్ చేయాలి JSON సర్వర్ అనేది ఇదే ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తారండి. JSON సర్వర్ సో ఇక్కడ దాకా ఫస్ట్ అన్నీ కంప్లీట్ చేసి ప్రతి ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తేనే మీకు అండర్స్టాండ్ అవుతుంది ఇక్కడి నుంచి ఇంకా. అదర్వైజ్ యూ వోంట్ గెట్ ఎనీథింగ్.
ఓకే నా ఇక్కడ ఒకసారి కమాండ్ ప్రోమ్ ఓపెన్ చేస్తాను. కమాండ్ ప్రోమ్ ఓపెన్ చేయండి అన్న. అక్కడ సర్వీసెస్ చేసినారు కదా ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసేది, దాంట్లో కంపైలేషన్ తీసుకోలేదు కదా నాది. ఓన్లీ మామూలుగా మనకు వితౌట్ HTML CSS కాకుండా సర్వీసెస్.
అర్థం కాలేదప్ప.
మీరు ఇక్కడ సర్వీసెస్ దగ్గర NG స్పేస్ G స్పేస్ అప్పుడు కంపైలేషన్ చేస్తున్నారు కదన్నా, అట్లా కాకుండా సర్వీసెస్ అని డైరెక్ట్ టైప్ చేసినారు కదా పైన మనం జనరేట్ చేసినది ఇందాక ఫస్ట్ లో.
NG జనరేట్ సర్వీస్ నేమా?
ఇట్లా ఈ సర్వీస్ పెట్టినప్పుడు మనకు అవి ఈ HTML ఫైల్ CSS ఫైల్స్ రాలేదు కదన్నా మనకి. ఇప్పుడు
సర్వీస్ కి, డైరెక్టివ్స్ కి, పైప్స్ కి ఓకే HTML CSS ఫైల్స్ రావు. ఓన్లీ కాంపోనెంట్ కి మాత్రమే HTML CSS ఫైల్స్ వస్తాయి. ఓకే
ఓకేనా.
నువ్వు అంటా అనేది ఇక్కడ 2 ఫైల్స్ వచ్చాయి, HTML CSS రాలేదని కదా. సర్వీసెస్ కి ఇట్స్ ఏ టైప్ స్క్రిప్ట్ ఫైల్. ఓన్లీ 2 files it will generate. One is spec.ts and another one is service.ts file. HTML and CSS it won't generate it. It is having only single file. Okay. So మీరు వీడియోస్ లింక్స్ ఉన్నాయి, కంటెంట్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేశాను, అవి మీరు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తే మాత్రమే మీకు అండర్స్టాండ్ అవుతుంది.
ఓకే ఓకే.
అప్పటిదాకా మీకు ఏది అండర్స్టాండ్ అవ్వదు.
చేస్తున్నాం.
ఒక 2 to 3 times మీరు ఎఫర్ట్ వేసి ట్రై చేస్తేనే మీకు వస్తుంది. లేదంటే ఇప్పటి నుంచి ఇంక ప్రతి కాన్సెప్ట్ 1 by 1 మీకు కాంప్లికేటెడ్గానే ఉంటుంది.
ఓకేనా.
ఇక్కడ దాకా ఉన్నాయి కదా, నేను ఇక్కడ ప్రొవైడ్ చేశాను కదా ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్, ఇందులో చూసుకోండి ఫేక్.
ఓకేనా.